I know it feels like they just flipped a switch. You are sitting there wondering how they could be smiling on Instagram or seeing someone new just weeks after ending things with you. You are asking yourself, did our time together mean nothing? How are they so cold? But here's the truth that's going to hurt but also set you free. They didn't move on quickly, they just had a head start. They did all their grieving while they were still dating you. They used your love to grieve the loss of you before they even left. Nobody who's in a loving, committed relationship wakes up with the thought of leaving someone on Monday and then ends it by Thursday. It doesn't work that way. It's a slow, quiet process. When leaving someone first enters their mind, they push it away. They feel guilty for even having the inkling of that. They look at you, this amazing person, and they tell themselves they are so lucky to have you. In an effort to get rid of those thoughts, they redouble their effort in the relationship. They initiate sex more, they get you a bunch of little gifts, they start planning trips. On the outside, it looks like they are trying harder than ever, but on the inside, they are desperately trying to rekindle a spark that they already feel dying. But the feeling doesn't go away. They are at work scrolling through articles about falling out of love. They keep hoping that what they are feeling is just due to stress or some new situations in their life. But nothing is helping, and that thought isn't going away. So they confide in a close friend. They go out for drinks, and after weeks or even months of not daring to say out loud what they have been thinking, they blurt out their darkest thoughts. And what they get back from their friends is consideration and understanding. They are there for them. They want what's best for them. And slowly, the terrifying idea of life without you starts to feel possible. After a couple of weeks of talking it over with their friends and family, they finally make the decision that they are going to end things. But that's going to be so hard. How are they supposed to move on from this? How are they supposed to live life without this other person by their side? So they get really sad and despondent. You saw something was wrong, so you loved them even harder. You start doing all these extra nice things for them because you can tell something is wrong but you don't know what. They cry in your arms constantly. They want to tell you their feelings but they are afraid of you lashing out. You thought you were saving them from a rough patch, but they were actually using your kindness and presence as an emotional crutch to get them through the pain of losing you. So, they just remain in the relationship, miserable and sad and wondering how much longer it's going to take before they finally actually commit to ending it. And then one afternoon, after much support and insistence from their family and friends, they sit you down and tell you that it's over. And that's why, when you ask to talk about it, they refuse. That's why all your texts go unanswered. That's why they appear to be so cold. That's why weeks after you break up, they are on Instagram and Facebook having a great time with their friends. That's why a couple months after you break up, they are able to start seeing someone. It's because they have already finished the grieving process that you are just beginning. Everything you are feeling right now, the shock, the pain, the loneliness, they have already been through it. They just did it while they were still using your warmth to keep them safe. Nobody wants to appear cold. It's a defense mechanism. Breaking someone's heart is heartbreaking for the person leaving too. Making the decision to end a committed relationship is one of the hardest things a person can do. In a natural breakup, one where there was no cheating or abuse, the person leaving is often driven by massive guilt and the feeling of not wanting to hurt their partner. That guilt eats them. They are likely to move on quicker in some sense, but sometimes the guilt does eat at you, especially when you know you have ended something that there wasn't a reason to because it was seemingly good. But we also have to call it what it is. It's the act of a coward. To use someone's love to aid you through the process of ending that love instead of actually talking to your partner shows a total lack of courage. It is selfish as hell. If your ex did this to you, especially after years together, it's because they were emotionally immature. Pretending everything is fine and that you are so in love when you are really just counting down the days is extremely cruel. All you really need to understand is that there are people out there who will take time to discuss their feelings with you instead of using you as a crutch until they don't need you anymore. You aren't slow at healing. You are just the only one who stayed honest until the end. You are grieving now because you were actually in the relationship. They are moving on because they left a long time ago.